Ooh, what's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson, and this is going to be a 12-rounder for the unified WBC and WBO Super-Featherweight World Championship, and this fight is going to be Saturday, April 30th from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, and this fight is going to be broadcasted on ESPN, ESPN Plus, or on the ESPN app. And to get both fighters' resumes, Oscar Valdez, fighting out of Mexico, holds a record of 30 wins with no defeats and 23 wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently ranked number 2 by BoxRec in the super featherweight division, and he is the former WBO featherweight world champion as well as the current WBC super featherweight world champion. And to list some of his best victories, he has a knockout win over Chris Avallos, a knockout win over Matias Fruenda. He also has a knockout win over Hiroshige Osawa. He has a unanimous decision win over Miguel Mariaga, a knockout victory over Genesis Cervania. He also has a unanimous decision win over Scott Quigg, a knockout win over Miguel Berchelt, and he's coming off a very controversial unanimous decision victory over Robson Consecao. And to get his opponent's resume, Shakur Stevenson, fighting out of the United States, holds an undefeated record of 17-0 with 9 knockouts. He's currently ranked number 1 by BoxRec in the super featherweight division, and he is the former WBO featherweight world champion as well as the current WBO super featherweight world champion. And to list some of his best victories, he has a unanimous decision victory over Christopher Diaz. He also has a unanimous decision win over Joe Gonzalez, a unanimous decision victory over Tokakan Clary, a wide unanimous decision win over Jeremiah Nakatia, which is looking much better these days, considering that Nakatia just knocked out Miguel Berchelt. He also has a knockout win over Jamel Herring in his last fight, which was probably his best victory to date. And in my opinion, although this fight looks really competitive on paper and probably leans in favor of Valdez on paper, I really think Shakur Stevenson is going to dominate. I really think his style is just spectacular in the game. We saw against Jamel Herring. Herring's known as a very skilled, fast counterpuncher, fast boxer, but Shakur Stevenson really blew him out of the water with his own speed, his counterpunching ability, and I really think that Shakur Stevenson is going to dominate in this fight. Valdez, he does like to throw some big, wide punches, and I really think he's going to get countered, specifically with his big hooks. He does love to throw. I mean, we saw him get the knockout of the year for 2021, I should say, and that was over Miguel Berchelt, but I mean, although he looked excellent in that fight, in his most recent fight against Consecao, he didn't look that great. I mean, many people, myself included, thought that he lost that fight 9-3, and I mean, that's against Consecao, let alone what would a guy like Stevenson do to Valdez. So Stevenson, I mean, he's got great defense. I mean, in his fight versus Nakatia, he got hit with maybe one big right hand throughout the entire fight. And against Jamel Herring, I mean, barely got touched at all. And in most of his fights, it's that way. And I looked through his BoxRec. I mean, it looks like that in his total career, the most rounds that he has lost is 2. And that's highly debatable considering that it was his decision win over Christopher Diaz, where the other 2 judges scored at 100 to 90. So arguably he could have won or lost 1 round at most in all of his fights. I mean, really, he's that good. That good of a counterpuncher, that good of a boxer. I mean, I'm a huge fan of his style. But I mean, when he fought Jeremiah Nakatia, he did fight very boring. I mean, he wasn't really doing as much as he did against Jamel Herring, where he was just putting on a masterclass. I mean, a pure masterclass. And I know that I did really hate on his performance versus Nakatia, because I mean, he did say that he wasn't feeling it right after the fight and he had to be a bit careful, but and he did really redeem himself with his performance over Herring, and that's really what I'm basing it off of. If he fights like how he did against Herring, he will dominate Oscar Valdez, and I really think he's going to get a wide decision win. He might even drop Valdez with a counterpunch in the middle of the fight. But yeah, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I see Valdez winning 3 rounds. I don't really see Valdez having much success if he comes forward on Shakur Stevenson. Here and there, he might land a shot there. But, I mean, I really think it will be Stevenson dominating with his counterpunching, with his speed, and really just with his overall boxing IQ. He's a very, very good fighter, Olympic silver medalist. I'm not really too sure if Valdez went to the Olympics for Mexico, but I mean, he's had a great pro career thus far. But yeah, I mean, I think that Valdez's game is primarily going to be coming forward because we've seen him try and fight sort of off the back foot a bit, and I mean, it doesn't work as well as when he likes to come forward. And I mean, that's his main game, coming forward and throwing big wide hooks. But I don't really think that's going to work against a guy like Shakur Stevenson, who's very calculated, very technical. And I mean, the old adage is styles make fights, and I really think that will just play a big toll in this one. I really think that Shakur Stevenson is just the better technician in the ring, much better technique, a very technical fighter. He really just fights by the book, hit and don't get hit. I mean, he's a really, really good fighter, and I hope that he does put on a solid performance as opposed to really just not engaging in the fight. Because against Jamel Herring, I mean, I know Herring isn't the biggest power puncher, but I mean, yet again, he did knock out Carl Frampton going into this fight against Stevenson. But I mean, Stevenson was walking him down, and we rarely see that. Stevenson was walking him down, landing big punches, and even when he was off the back foot, he was still engaging in the fight a lot, and it was a really solid fight nonetheless. And Stevenson dominated, and I think he will dominate here. And if he gets this win, which I think he will definitely be the number one at 130 pounds and possibly even move up later. But Boxer already has him ranked number one, as I mentioned before. Many people also have him number one. So this really is the number one guy versus the number two guy at 130 pounds, and it really determines who is the man at 130. So, yeah, I mean, comment down below your thoughts on this fight. Who do you think is going to win? As you heard from me before, I think Shakur Stevenson is going to win this fight. And, it will be by a wide unanimous decision. So, yeah, I can't really see Shakur Stevenson stopping Oscar Valdez, but I see him winning a multitude of rounds. I really think throughout the fight we will see Shakur Stevenson primarily box and counter off the outside at mid-range as well, and really just land a lot of punches and show that he is one of the best fighters in the world, and or the best fighter, 130 pounds. And yeah, I don't really think Valdez will have much success. I think the only rounds that Valdez will win, I mean, at most I see him winning 3 rounds. I could see him maybe taking one of the earlier rounds when Stevenson is, or when Shakur is feeling him out. Maybe like a really, really tight round in the later rounds, mid rounds. A couple more, like 1 or 2 in the mid to late rounds, that are just sort of close rounds where like Shakur is taking a little bit of a break. I can't really see Valdez definitively winning round by round, and I don't see it being like a back and forth battle, like a close fight. I really think that Shakur Stevenson's style is just too much for Oscar Valdez, and I really think throughout the fight we will see Shakur Stevenson fight in numerous ways. We will see him box, we will see him counter. We will just see him be the better technician and just outwork and outland Oscar Valdez. Valdez might throw a lot of punches, but because of Shakur's defense, I really see him. I really see Shakur avoiding a lot of them and landing some big counters, and I really just think he's the better boxer overall, and I think that we will get to see Shakur come forward a bit and really just land shots on the known pressure-fighting power puncher in Valdez. So overall, I believe that Shakur Stevenson will defeat Oscar Valdez by a wide unanimous decision, and I believe that the judges will score this bout 119 to 109, 118 to 110, or 118 to 110, I should say, and a 117 to 111. And if Shakur Stevenson wins this fight, which I just said, I think he will become the unified WBC and WBO Super-Featherweight World Champion. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.